Okay, welcome everybody to our September CCC-TPP meeting. I'm going to go ahead and put the agenda in the chat. I also want to make sure, I wasn't sure if everybody had access to the field experience. The CSU system did a letter about field experiences. We shared it last month, but I'm going to put it in the chat also because I want to make sure that everybody has that. It's showcasing that being in the virtual space is still okay right now for our fieldwork students, which is important. Another thing too, for those of you who were not able to attend our across system um, conference that we had last month, the CTC did a really good presentation on AB 130, and it's one of our discussion topics today for our meeting. So I put that, it's loading right now, but I put the PowerPoint in the chat. So if you haven't had a chance to get that, you probably want to download it and save it to your desktop because it kind of helps to explain the intricate pieces of that AB 130. You know, for us, we all think about credential and, CBEST and CSET, but when you look at that AB 130, it's really covering a lot. So just real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and just share agenda so we're all on the same page, and then we'll do some quick welcomes. I also want to give a big shout out to Rosemary. Rosemary has been helping me with stuff that's been while I've been helping my mom who's sick, my 87-year-old mom who's sick. And so she's actually going to be leading parts of our discussion today. Because I didn't have time to do any prep. I'm going to be honest. I was doing stuff last night, and Rosemary and I were talking a couple days ago, and she's like, "Hey," and so, anyways, so that's she'll be helping us out today. So, oh, thanks, Steve. I see you in the chat. I totally appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. So let's go off and start with some welcome and introductions. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see you today. Renee Marshall. I am not with any college, or not just one college, I'm with many colleges. And so I'm here today with CCC-TPP. I'm representing the Los Angeles Regional Colleges. I'm representing Antelope Valley College. I'm representing quite a few of our colleges across the state, and I'm happy to be here. So Rosemary, do you want to take it next?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Rosemary, she, her pronouns, and I work at Cuesta College and Cal Poly SLO in teacher preparation and liberal studies. So how about Leah?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Rosemary. This is Leah Martinez. I'm the interim project manager at Rio Hondo College. Still fighting for my job after 11 years, but that's a different story. Thank you for inviting me here.
I think that's ridiculous. I'm going to say it on paper, on video. I don't understand why our categorical programs, when we have staff who are there for long periods of time, we shouldn't, there should be like a certain cutoff. Like once you're in one of those positions for 5 years, then it becomes institutionalized. I was in the same boat as Leah, and I ran a program for over, 12, 14 years, something like that. So we need to fix that, Leah, don't we? We'll add it to the list. We'll see if we can work on that this year. Thank you, Leah, for being here. Why don't we have Rachel introduce next?
Hi, everybody. Rachel Johnson, Ventura College Child Development Education Co-Chair and faculty. Sorry, I totally blanked on that word all of a sudden. And it's only the beginning of my day on Zoom, so that's going to be really bad. And I've been running the ECE COP coffee chats through TPP. And if you understand all those letters, let me know what they stand for. No.
And Rachel, you got to teach in the classroom yesterday, is that correct?
I did. It was my first time back in the classroom with students, and it was incredible and amazing, and lots of anxiety, but everyone was in a good mood and talking and participating, and it was probably one of the better classes I've ever had. So, excellent. And I don't know if it's just because we're all wanting to be back with people or if I'm just that funny, I don't know, but it was a really good day.
Excellent, excellent. It's going to be interesting as we all like reacclimate to those, social interactions, whether it be in an academic setting like that, but even just, I'm going to my first conference in 2 weeks. I haven't been for, since all of us have. So it's such an interesting time, isn't it? It's almost like we're all relearning. That's cool. Very cool. Okay, who would like to go next? Sharon, you want to go next? Awesome. You are not muted, my friend. Or you are muted. Sorry. Can you unmute, please, Sharon?
Audio. Okay, sorry about that. And I hope you can understand me. I am wearing a mask because I had surgery and my mouth is all swollen and I have stitches. It's just better to wear a mask. Now, we all know that masks do nothing about germs, but they make you feel better because this thing, after you ice, it'll go away. It's fine. But anyway, I'm also outside. Okay, so I'm from Coastline. I'm still there. And I don't know whether I'm categorical or real, but we've hung in there since TRDP. And, you know, take each year at a time. But, you know, at Coastline, we have always been online and project-based, never Zoom-based and yada, yada, yada. And so it's tough because I have students who say, I hate online classes, but usually the students I have, they make a choice, you know, that if you don't like online classes, then don't take us and go to another school. Or if you like regular classes, then, you know, go to where it's Zoom-based. So this is a challenge. Oh, that's all I can say, a challenge.
Definitely.
And we're worried about field work now, but we're hanging in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure about everybody else, but I know the districts I'm working with right now, they've pulled back anybody who's non-essential on a campus, you know, anybody who falls under that volunteer category, they're just pulling everybody back as much as possible. So, you know, it's still an interesting time. Things are still uncertain. That's the one thing we know, right? Oh man, Sharon, glad you are here today. Corinne, would you like to go next?
Hey everyone, good morning. So I am Corinne Martinez, and I am the Department Chair of Liberal Studies at Cal State Long Beach.
Corinne, I apologize that I pronounced your name wrong the first time. Thank you too. I saw on your name, I was like, oh my gosh, it's there right. So thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah,
and welcome.
Sure. Thank you. And my apologies. I'm having some tech issues, so I'm not sure what's going on, but I'll kind of stay as long as I can with some, I'm not sure what the deal is, but okay. Thank you.
Don't worry. We have a couple people who have some Wi-Fi issues that sometimes can't show video. And so it's all good. It's all good. We're just glad you are here. Excellent. So how about, who would like to go next? Kim, you want to go next?
Kimberly Bly. I'm Department Chair for Education at Bakersfield College, and I'm also the Grant Director for our TRIO SSS Teacher Prep Grant. And nice to be here.
Excellent. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's have Steve. I'm not sure if Steve's able to, oh wait, Steve introduced in the chat, Steve Batista from Santa Ana College. Let's go ahead. I think Megan stepped away for a second too. Yadira, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody. Good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. We're almost there, halfway through the week. And this is Yadira Arellano from El Camino College and also Rio Hondo College. I am just as excited as Renee to go out and talk to adults, engage with adults, and talk to people and teachers about our frustrations and how long we've been secluded. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Excellent. It's interesting. I'm prepping a couple sessions for the upcoming CCC AOE conference, and I'm working with Joint Special Populations. And we were prepping our session just, I don't know, recently. And somebody was talking about how, you know, we're spending so much time talking about the students, but right now we even need to create space for faculty and our teachers, because those who are in teacher training right now in the K-12 system, anytime they're meeting with teachers, the teachers just need space to talk, just to try and figure this all out. So just a good reminder that we all need to come together again, you know, still. Absolutely. For sure. Okay, let's see who, you know what, Jane, I think Jane might be teaching right now, so I'm not sure if she's able to introduce, oh, maybe she is, excellent, hi Jane.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Renee, for giving the opportunity to introduce myself. It's very nice to meet you, and I'm glad to be a part of the teaching preparation group. I am a math faculty, and I'm also a learning specialist for the Learning Center. And I also, recently I took a role of the Academic Development Department co-chair, and the grant, the Teacher Acceleration Preparation Program grant at Antelope Valley College. So it's all new to me, and I want to learn as much as possible, as much as I can, to better serve our students here at Antelope Valley College. And yes, I will be teaching in a few minutes. I'll have to leave, but I will watch the recording.
Wonderful. Jane, we're so glad you're here today. I'm thrilled that you're able to join us. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Excellent. And Megan, are you back on? Would you like to introduce? I know she stepped away. So Megan Kaplinsky is here from Long Beach City College. And I'm embarrassed to say, for some reason, I can see a child's picture, but I can't see the name of who that is. My
It's
Zoom.
me, Kathleen White.
Oh, Kath. Excellent. Hi, Kathleen.
I'll put my video on. I thought that the picture fits me.
Totally. For some reason, my Zoom wasn't showing the name on the picture, so I couldn't see who it was.
My stealth mode.
Totally.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Kathleen White. And I'm retired from City College of San Francisco, but still working on projects. So I do see Leah on here. I'd like to say shout out to Leah for her programming skills. Our Teach for the Bay conference is on track for October. And we've got 3 days of a conference going, and just finished the program last night. So I'll be sending it to all the TPPs. It is primarily for the Bay Area, but any of your students who see workshops that they want to come to, it's free. They can hop on. It should be very exciting. I'm excited to be able to do it again this year. So, and other than that, let's see, I'm just working on ECE and EDU apprenticeships. The CAI, California Apprenticeship Initiative grant, just got released last week from the State Chancellor's Office. And we see lots of interest in our community colleges and K-12 districts in finding out more about this apprenticeship initiative and joining the apprenticeship movement. So it's been very exciting. And I'm not sure, I don't see too many other people from up in Northern California here this morning, but the workforce shortage is just unbelievable up here, probably in the southern and central parts of California too. But we have jobs that are just going unfilled in after school, in early childhood, in all the entry-level jobs are just
Crisis level.
It's a crisis level. Yeah. So I think the apprenticeship has resonated with people. It's a way to get people in a pipeline with some commitment, but we're going to need more than one solution. We're going to need lots of solutions. So, things aren't even fully open up here. I mean, we still have programs operating at reduced capacity. Just wait. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I've been saying this a long time. So it's bad. But nice to be with you all, and I'll send out the conference information as soon as I can. Thank you.
Kathleen, are you also seeing a mass shortage of substitute teachers?
Oh, yeah. We had, hi, Adira. I just see a chat from Adira. I miss Adira too. Yes, substitutes at all levels. So not just K-12. But early childhood subs, after school, just everywhere, part-time, I think the full-time jobs are getting a little more traction, but part-time in those odd rotating schedules, just impossible. Yeah. So
I think it's fascinating with the subs in my region right now. I'm watching as multiple districts are in panics because they can't get subs. And so they're renegotiating sub pay and then trying to put it out, on social media. Just yesterday, one of the districts put this thing out saying you can earn $250 a day. Totally misleading though, because it's only for a long-term contract. They don't say what it is until you click into a long-term contract, but I didn't say anything. But then one of the other elementary and junior high districts, same day, put up almost like a competing post for subs.
Oh yeah.
They're able to pay $120 to $125 a day. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why would you? And these are districts next door to each other. Yeah. Why would you step in for $120 if next door you can make $250?
$250, yeah.
Oh man, what a mess. And I know like in our community, I see it hands-on because I've shared with you guys that my mom has been very ill, but in
Mhm.
addition to that, we've had 4 family members with COVID this month.
Mhm.
Not me, not my children, not my husband, but 2 of my sisters, my mom and my niece. And one of my sisters is a junior high teacher. And the way that her quarantine landed was she was only out 6 days of school because it was the long weekend and then the other weekend and whatnot. But those 6 days of school, they didn't have a sub for her. She had 6 different teachers every single day for 6 days in order for her kids to be taught.
Yeah. No, it's terrible. We're
It's,
we're
we're in
dealing
a
with
mess.
tremendous sub shortages up here also. And I see on the screen Rosemary's here. She's doing a workshop at the conference too. So thank you so much. Again, thank you to Leah, and I'll send the information out.
Awesome.
Oh, I
Kathy.
think and Steve's going to do a little cameo. That's what I've heard.
Oh, yay. That's
Yay.
awesome. I love it. Well, and
10-minute
I have to tell
cameo.
everybody too, you know, Kathleen and the
Mhm.
Los Angeles team, we were planning to back up, teach
Mhm.
for LA and teach for the Bay.
Mhm.
And then after the statewide conference, literally like the day after the statewide or the day of the statewide conference, Yadira and I talked and I said, hey, what do you think if we back it up a little bit? And she goes, you're right. And I said, it's really hard to produce those huge conferences.
Oh, it is.
And especially when you're the person and it's almost back to back. And so we had
Yeah.
already agreed that we were going to change the date slightly. And then everything happened with my family. And so Yadira and I are now looking at November. We don't have any dates grounded. But once, you know, family first, I'm so thankful that I'm with early childhood and education people, because if I'm not taking care of my 87-year-old mother right now, you know what I mean? Like we got to keep priorities straight. So
Yeah.
anyways, we will roll a conference. And as soon as I have a chance to plan it, I will share it with everybody. And till then, we've got Teach for the Bay. And so let's pound that out to all of our students, all of our colleagues, and any teacher preparation stakeholders. So thank you so much, Kathleen. It's going to
Sure.
be.
Thank you. Nice to see you all.
Renee, actually, we did Teach for LA in November. So you're not.
Oh, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
funny. So then we're going to be back on schedule.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Leah. Now I feel better. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Rosemary now, because we are going to get into kind of the weeds a little bit with AB 130 and what that means for us. So Rosemary.
Hi, everyone. And I'll confess, I don't have a lot prepared for this. I just wanted to see what the conversation is at various campuses. And I've made a file with a bunch of the communications that I've gotten over the last couple of months. And this comes up because, I mean, it deeply affects us and our students. And the more that we can find out about it, the better we can guide our students. Oh, hi, Megan. Do you want to introduce yourself before I start yapping?
Oh, no, I just realized I didn't plug that in earlier. It's okay.
Okay. Well, welcome. So I guess, so this comes up because I have this weird space that I occupy at both Cal Poly and at Cuesta. And so I'm working in liberal studies. I also work in the School of Ed, and then I also work over at Cuesta College. So I've been working really closely with our credential analyst at Cal Poly. And from the start, there's been first off, the credential analysts are overwhelmed because they're responsible for signing off on all the BSRs. And so they've kind of consolidated. And Karine, maybe you can tell us more about this, because I'm not a credential analyst, but I've been working closely with ours, like I said. And so I guess the reason I wanted to put this out there for a conversation is to see what is going on with partnering schools. Since we don't have an official partner, we're still kind of like doing this piecemeal. What I have gotten and what I'm trying to understand, because there's the two things, there's the basic skills requirement, and then there's the subject matter requirement. And so the basic skills requirement is easier to pick off. It's more straightforward. So that's where most of the energy has been put. And the determination is you can still take the CBEST, but where we got hung up at Cuesta, and this is why I wanted to understand how other curriculum coordinators might be working with this, is there's a push from a few faculty to have some sort of vetting of our courses so that we can list them in our catalog, so that when students are choosing courses, if they know they want to be a teacher, they'll know which ones count. And we are looking at trying to put a process in place for that. So I guess I kind of went out of order on the agenda, but that's what came up first. So because basic skills is a lot more straightforward than the other one. So what one suggestion that has evolved is that we create a task force with our curriculum committee to review all the courses. And I still don't have enough of a grasp on the curriculum process to understand, like, is that doable? Is that make work? Is that a good strategy? Or do y'all have other ideas for how to approach that? And I honestly think that this all got sparked because what's happening is if a course doesn't exactly meet the wording of the law, the analyst has to write to the school where the course was taken and get a letter from that department chair to validate that the course should count. Well, the person who received the letter at Cuesta is someone who wasn't real happy about being asked that question. And I think that, and complained right away to the dean, I think. And so it became a conversation. And so we came up at our school with the idea of doing that, and that, because you can either call the registrar or the chair of the department. So what we were going to do is Cal Poly was going to kind of make a form letter that said, we need to know if this class counts. And then the registrar will have this list so that they don't have to bug, so the credential analyst doesn't have to bug the department chair with every single inquiry. But she's already having to do this. And I mean, this thing just took effect July. So I guess the question is, have y'all had any interactions over this yet? And if so, what do you think makes sense? And again, like maybe Corinne, you could, if you're still here. Oh, there you are. You keep moving. Like, does that sound like something that makes sense from the CSU side? So just
I'll just respond, Rosemary, to your question. I am a department chair in liberal studies, so the credential analysts are not necessarily housed in our department. I think we're moving slowly and carefully and trying to figure out the best approach to do this. So I'll be honest with you, I don't have a whole lot of information about how Cal State Long Beach is addressing these requests that will likely come in and have already come in. We do know it's going to be a significant workload issue or concern for our credential analysts. And, you know, I think the basic skills requirement versus the subject matter requirement, I mean, I think different across the CSUs, we have, we are working like to interpret what does the language say, what does it mean, and what are the implications for existing liberal studies programs in terms of the subject matter requirement. The basic skills requirement, same thing. What does it mean in terms of how students satisfy that particular requirement, and then how do we verify that? And the tendency, I think, at Long Beach has been to do it in-house within the credential analysts, within the teacher credentialing center. But really the person who could speak to that is going to be our Associate Dean, Rebecca Bustamante. And I don't think she's here, but so we are in the middle of accreditation, so we're focusing on that. But certainly this is one of those areas of concern and conversation. So more to come from the CSU LB specifically.
okay.
I have a question too. I'm wondering if this is going to end up becoming like other duties as assigned, because it feels like it's almost like this whole other set of tasks or a whole different level of responsibility for whoever that falls onto. And I'm just,
it falls on the analysts. That's the thing, is it affects us, but there's only so much we can do. And so I do like the idea of us being able to let our and it means, like, part of it too is helping the students take some agency in this And one of the things that, for example, I'm going to be teaching an orientation to liberal studies. And one of the things that they'll do during the quarter is they have to show a plan of how they're going to meet the BSR. And then I'll share really quickly, this is the official form that they'll have, that they'll fill out. And so what Alma's going to do is she's going to come into our class and say, okay, pretend you're submitting this right now, what courses? So, when it's in-house and they're spending all 4 years in the undergraduate program that's intentional on this, it'll work out, but it's tricky when they're coming from us. So basically our English and math departments have the authority to authorize these to count for the basic skills requirement. And so it's just, we've gotten a lot of questions about both already. And we're just trying to provide the most consistent information. Yeah, so how about Sharon, your hand's up, and then Steve. You're still muted, Sharon.
Mute. Okay, there we go. So I have a couple questions because I don't know where it goes at Coastline, because we're a district program, we're all over the place. And I would hate for it to go to a person who doesn't know what it's all about, but I'm not an articulation officer. But I know that what we have in place, for example, with Long Beach and Fullerton, we have, we had a long-standing waiver program, which they got rid of with No Child Left Behind, and that's supposed to be put back. And we have a grid with Long Beach anyway, that is, courses you can take at the community college, and we've worked it out. So is this thing now gonna go away with the waiver program? I don't know. And I don't think Fullerton has finished the waiver stuff, or we haven't really gone over it, but we wanted to be a part of that. And so, it's a little bit scary if it just goes to the school and somebody, a counselor, somebody who's nothing to do with teacher prep decides on her own and is not in on this. And the other thing is the AATs, that's pretty prescribed. And so all of a sudden to change that and say this, we can't just go change it.
Well, so this is a little different. So these are two different things too with the waivers. That's subject matter. And I was going to bring that one into the pool too. But even for the basic skills requirement, basically it's really scripted in the law. The question has to go to either the department chair of English or math or the registrar. Okay, and right. So the way we were looking at that was coming up with a list so that the registrar could have a list. So when she gets the requests in, and it happens to be she at our school, she can go down that list and say, oh yeah, English department said that counts for reading and writing, so check it off.
Okay. So what I mean is that I don't think they'll ask teacher prep about the basic skills, English and math, and I'm happy for that. But the subject matter, who are they going to go to? Because that's where we are.
Well, they're still figuring that out right now. And so on the subject matter one, at least my understanding with what the credential analysts are accepting for subject matter now is only liberal studies. And that's not going to affect us as much, except that basically right now, if students are sticking to the ADT, that should meld fine. Even if there's other problems with the ADT has the subject matter that they need to get into liberal studies. They will right now, at least Cal Poly and the group that my analyst is in is saying that is the only major they will accept to cover subject matter right now, even though the wording in the law makes it sound like others could.
I mean, the thing is that like with Fullerton, they're very innovative. We have child adolescent development that leads.
Excuse me, I'm interrupting because I think that we have some Zoom bombers on right now. I think somebody just logged in as Sharon and put themselves.
Oh.
Yep. Okay. We got to get off there, or just give me a second.
Shut the fuck up.
If anybody who's on right now can help me, just wait a moment, please. I'm going to pause recording.